Welcome my dear students for the BCA 6th semester session number 40 Unix programming. In this session we will deal with the topic which is called pattern matching in aspect of shell, in the point of view of shell, and also like escaping and quoting concepts where we can get the real meaning of the meta characters. So before that we will come to we will know what we have discussed in the previous session. So in the previous session we have just discussed about what is shell and what are all the types of shell. So here in the types of shell we have discussed about the graphical user interface and also the command line interface. And what are all the shells which is offering, like types of your shells, where you have a very famous, that is Bourne and C shell. So in that Bourne shell you can find many types of other which has been advanced with new features, and because your Linux or Unix has been upgraded with a GUI just like your Windows, you can also access your this operating system. And also we discussed about shells interpretive cycle, where it will says that how the command will be executed and how it will be how it will execute and gives you the output. Everything in detail we dealt in previous session. Now coming to today's session. So before telling about pattern matching, I just want to recall of our previous session where we discussed about the wildcards in a grep command, isn't it? When we use a grep command with the wildcards, we have already seen how to match the patterns. So pattern matching in turn we can tell you, like it is just searching for a particular pattern in the given file or in the list out files. Okay, so here for example, if the files are similar and want to list out all the files beginning with the chap, that is CHAP, then so what you are going to do is, so we will type the command in a command line over there we will type a ls chap star. So as soon as we press enter key, so you will get all this as an output, where you can see all the files which starts from your chap, and the star will depicts that any other number, it can be nothing also, so that will be displayed over here. So next, coming on to this pattern which is framed with ordinary character, you can see this is an ordinary characters like CHAP, and this star is nothing but is your meta character. So it is well defined rules. With the meta character, if you are using to construct a generalized pattern in order to match particular file names, so belonging to the category which we call that as a wildcards. Okay, so same way in our grep command also we did the same task, isn't it? So here we will use it on a command prompt itself. So you can see what are all the wildcards we have. So it is almost same to your grep commands wildcard. So there also we did the same thing, but we are looking these things in a shell point of view. Okay, so here the perspective is towards our shell, and whatever the command which we are giving, it is purely on the command prompt. So you can see the star, that is the asterisk, where it will say any number of characters including none. Question mark, which will say you can select for a particular single character, and within the big brackets if you mention these letters means you can have an option of these three letters and nothing will be selected. So if at all if you have a ranges between these two letters means it will say that you can have a ASCII range from your X to Z, that means X, Y, Z will be selected. If you mention like this, which is not, so on that time it will say other than, which is not a IJK, the rest will be acceptable. On that time it will take this one. And this is exclamatory marks. Okay, X to Z. So here once again a single character that is not within the ASCII range of the characters. So once again pat1 and pat2, where it will say pat1 and pat2, the pattern will be checked. Here the multiple patterns can be given over here. Okay, so we will just see the applications of that. We will get one examples on each. So here you can see we have started with the asterisk, where it is representing any number of unknown characters. So whenever you are searching for a particular document or for a file, you know only a partial name of it and you don't know the further, then you can use the asterisk marks. So then, for example, if you enter cheese with asterisk mark, as you search the term, then this will be your output, where you will get the output for cheese, cheesecake, cheese dip, like that. Okay, so if you enter the same command with a prior like asterisk and then cheese, so you can search the term with a whatever the string which is there, the prior, it can be anything, but it should end with a cheese only. So this is how you will get the output. The next, coming on to the question mark, which represent only one unknown character. So only one place will be dedicated for an unknown character. So when you use it in order to list all the files which have very similar names, and when you are unaware or unsure, like you don't know a few characters, then you can go for this question mark option. For example, if you enter take with along with question mark, which I don't know whether it is take 1, take n, take 2, take 3, I don't know about the one single character existence. So for that reason I have placed with the question mark with a .txt as a search term, and after searching I will get the answer, that is these are all the possible output I will get it. So if at all if I want an output like 1, 2, take 1, 2.txt, then see, you can't get that one for this command which you are giving it. So only if you want this as an output, then you have to give the command in the command prompt as take question mark dot txt. Okay, this is the criteria. Next, coming on to the dot operator. So whenever you use the star and question mark, it does not match all the files which begins with the dot or the slash, which is for your path name. Okay, so dot means it is used to just display the hidden files. If you want to list out all the hidden files, for an instance, in your directory, having at least 3 characters after the dot, and the dot must match explicitly like this. If you want to list out in that fashion, you give it with a ls command. ls dot, I don't know the next 3 characters, so I will say question, and then I will say after that if anything comes that is also okay with me, then I can put a asterisk for that. So you can see over here the dot bash underscore profile is my first output, dot exrc second, the dot netscape third, dot profile. So however, if your file name contains a dot anywhere between or but at the beginning, it is okay. It will just matches and it will gives you. But if at all if it is embedded between the 2 file names or the 2 names, 2 words, means on that scenario you have to give ls emp star first. Okay, so where it will say you can have anything between this emp and first. So it can have anything, but only like if at all if you want to retrieve that dot in this fashion, means you have to give it with a star character. Okay, so just like our grep command, over there also we had our own character class from your character thing, isn't it? We have taken the subset of our character class. So here also the character class is comprises of set of characters which has been enclosed in a big brackets. So big brackets that whatever the character which you are giving, it will say it matches with a single character in a class. So for example, you can see over here the pattern where I have given with a big brackets, inside that I have given A, B, C, D. Means what? This is my subset of my character class. We are saying that it should matches with a single character where either like A or B or C or D. But it should match only one character. Okay. So for instance, I will go with the ls command with chapo, that is 1, 2, 4. Here, according to my command, what I am saying is my file should be chapo. Either it is chapo 1, chapo 2, chapo 4. So that is what you can see over here. We have that one with a 1 to 4 combination. Okay. Range specification is possible inside the class with a hyphen. Of course, if we give an hyphen, then you can go for a range specification saying from and to. Okay, so you can see with an example, ls chapo 1 to 4 means we will get the same output, but once again it will include the 3 in the previous example. Same way, see here in our, this will be our output list from chapo 1 to chapo 4. So same way, ls chap with x to z means from x, y, z it will take. Okay, one important thing which you have to remember is while giving your range, you should specify a valid range specification. Means the left side of your range should be lower than to your value of your right side. Means what? If at all if you want to give means 1 to 4 is the valid range specification. If at all if you give from 4 to 1, then definitely it won't work. Okay, so that you have to keep it in mind while giving it. Okay, now we will move on to negating the character class. Whatever we want, okay, that is fine. You will get it by your big brackets. And if at all if you don't want those things and the rest you want, that also an option is there in our pattern matching. So for that we will use a exclamatory mark. So here, for example, we are telling that anything you can select, but not with .c and .o. So matches the file names with a single character extension, but not with the .c or .o files. So same way, if we are telling that whatever which you have, the file should be like not A to Z means it shouldn't be a alphabetic. So the file which you are searching for, it should not be an alphabetic. So that's what matches all files that don't begin with an alphabetic character. Okay, so now coming on to the next type, which we will say totally dissimilar. Still we want to match the patterns. On that time, one more thing, we have already seen what are the types of shells we have. In that, this type of total mismatch will work only in corn, bass and seashell. So in order to do that one, we will take one instance how this will work. So let us think, let us assume that we want a copy of all the C and Java source program from one directory and to another directory. Okay, so by delimiting the patterns with the comma, I can put it within a flower braces. So you can see here with my example, see here I am copying it from a where home prog sources. So in that directory I am copying all the files which relates to .c and .java. So according to my condition, what it says, you can give the source programs of like by just delimiting the patterns. See here the patterns delimiting by a comma. So we have given a comma by to the patterns which we want to check. Okay, and also with the curly braces, or you can even tell it as flower brackets. So without any spaces, you have to give this one. If you pass this command, then it won't work in bone, but the rest will take care of this command and it will gives you the output. Okay, so same way you can use the curly braces for your multi-directories also. So here there is like you are searching for the two types of files in a one particular directory. But if the scenario is if you want to search for a particular file in a multiple directories, means that is also allowed. By looking into this command, you can see cp home kumar. In that you have a 3 directories, that is project, html, scripts. So all these 3 directories which contains the files, it will copies all the files from these directories and put it onto your current directory. So that is what it will do with this command. Okay, so after knowing all about your wildcards, we will move on to the rounding up concept. So what is this rounding up? Whenever you use some of the wildcards, like characters have different meanings depending upon where it has been placed in the pattern. Just remember, the placing of the pattern is also very important. For example, like star and question mark, if you place it inside the class, then automatically it loses its meaning, isn't it? Same way, whenever you are hyphen and exclamatory mark, it will also loses its significance when you place it outside the class. So you should be very careful, like where to place all these wildcards, in which location is also very important. Okay, so you can see we're summarizing up with some of the samples, like how it will execute. ls star dot c. So that shows that list all the files which contains .c extension. Okay, next mv star /bin. What it is doing? It moves all the files to the bin subdirectory of a parent directory. Okay, next it will say copy the foo, that is see here, if you are mentioning that foo star, so this is where it will lose its meaning. Why? Because the foo is a same file name, and if you mention this star, means it will get confused whether it is foo star is a file name or the foo, and it should take this star as a meta character. So here it will lose its meaning. Okay, so that's why what it will do, it copies from foo to foo. That's it. So cp question marks. So here you have given 6 question marks with procs. So where it will say it copies to procs directory all files with which has a 6 characters. Okay, so next LP note 0 to 1 and 0 to 9, where it prints note 00, note 01 through note 19. So from there to up to 19 it will go on. See, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, like that it will take up to its ranges. Okay, so RM star dot not with L and not with O, not with G, means what? It will remove all the files with the 3 character extensions except the one which is of .log extension, with .log extension. Okay, same way the cp minus r, that is home kumar, includes libbin. So here it copies recursively all the 3 directories, that is include libbin, that is from your kumar to the current directory. Okay, so minus r, which is telling that it will do its recursive option. Okay, so next coming on to our escaping and quoting. So what is this escaping and quoting? So whenever you want to, like you want your particular meta characters or with of same meaning to withhold, then on that time we want this escaping or quoting concepts. So let me see with an example. So in this example, we have taken to list out, that is ls command, the chap star over here. And you can see the output over here, where in the output you can match with all the files which starts from chap, and the next letter it can be anything, isn't it? And you just observe properly our second output, that is your second word of my output. Here chap star is there. So once again this chap star is nothing but over here itself. So this might create a problem and this should be removed immediately. But if you try to remove this chap star by using rm command, then what it will happen? It will delete the entire output which you are viewing now. So it would be a very dangerous for us, isn't it? So we must protect our special characters. So including wildcards, whatever the wildcards you are using, you have to protect their meaning. So how to interpret then? The shell is not interpreting properly about that. So in order to do that one, the shell will provide two solutions to prevent its own interference. So how means the first one by using a escaping. So what is this escaping? Which provides a backslash before the wildcard in order to remove its special meaning. So it will just goes with escaping with the thing so that it will remove its special meaning. So placing a slash immediately before the meta character will turn off its special meaning. So for example, in our pattern, you have just placed the slash so that before your asterisk, that will makes you to interrupt as a meta character. You can see rm chap slash star means. So here it does not remove all the chap 1, chap 2, whatever the output you have got. Instead what it will do? It will just delete the chap star. So what this slash is doing? It is suppressing the wildcard nature of the, thus preventing the shell from performing file name expansions on it. This feature is known as escaping. Okay, so better way to understand is through practical, isn't it? So I will show you how to just the difference between this slash. Okay. See, we all know that double quotes are used in order to give the patterns, isn't it? Yes. If at all if you give a echo command with a double quotes means what it will do? It will sense the shell will just interprets this as a normal wildcards and it will see that the whatever which is written inside that double quotes that should be displayed on the output. Okay, so here it will just gives you the output as quotation, but actually what I wanted is my output should be in this fashion, like the output should itself be looked as a the double within the double quotes I should get a quotation. So on that time it is best to give echo slash. So here I am using escaping character for this double quote and quotation with that once again slash I will use the double quote. So this is how if I give like this, it will preserve its meaning so that it will gives you the double quotes on your output. So I think now you have got better understanding of the execution of these commands. Okay, next coming on to our quoting. So what is this quoting means? It has been enclosed once again with the wildcard. So even the entire pattern can be enclosed within the quotes. So here for example, if I want to give this chap star means I will just quote it within the quote, single quotes. When the command argument is enclosed in quotes means the meaning of all enclosed special characters are turned off. So whatever the special characters meanings are there, everything will be turned off. So if you want that special things to be happen means don't give it in a single quotes. Okay. So echo, if I give it within a single quotes, this slash means it will displace a slash. Same way chap, rm chap means that will just gives you like this. My document.doc removes file my doc. Okay. So this is how it will gives you. So coming on to with an example, a single quote may not occur between the single quotes, isn't it? A single quote may not occur between your single quotes. So even when preceded by a backslash. So here you can see each and every time a single quotes which we are giving it. All special characters will within the single quotes lose their special meanings. So for that See, each and every time there is no need to give a single quotes. That's why we said a single quote may not occur between the single quotes. So for that reason, what we can do is take this instance. For example, here you can see echo, and we have given slash. For everything we have given a escaping character. So you can see many escaping characters we have used over here, that is backslash. And see, if I say welcome to Geeks for Geeks, here it will just displays like this. So you can be you can experience that it will be too complex when you use too many or lot of backslashes in your statements, isn't it? So in order to avoid that one, what we can do is you can give the entire statement within a one single quotes. Okay, so the same output you will get it. So now you can see the second statement's output. Now it is far better when you compare with the first one. So this is how we can say the single quotes is very nice or very important than your backslash. Okay, now we will check it out with the double quotes, how it will work. So double quotes will preserve the literal values of all the characters within the quotes. So whatever you have written within the quotes, that will preserve its actual value. So here in the command terminal, you can see we have taken name is equal to Geeks for Geeks, and we want to display this name on our terminal. So for that reason, if I give echo with a single quotes as a dollar name, why this dollar? We want to access the value of the variable. So whenever you want to print the value of the variable, then it is better to give a within the single quotes. Okay, so dollar name, and next if it it will just display the dollar name as such. But if I want the value to be printed, means if I give the same command using a double quotes, then you will get the value of it. So this is the beauty of the quotes in a escaping or quoting fashion. Okay, summing up our today's session. So in our session we just saw what are all the patterns or the wildcards which can be used in order to select the particular directories and files, and also we found what are the escaping, the backslash escaping character, how it will help us to use within the commands, and also with the quoting, how can we get the real value of a particular variable. So we have saw everything in this session, and now it's a reference time, and this is where you have to refer the things for the topic which I have dealt today. Okay, thank you.